All right, so today we're diving into what it takes to be a print folding operator. You guys sent over a ton of resources on this, and honestly, I was kind of surprised to learn it's a lot more involved than I thought it'd be.
It really is. It's like with a lot of careers, we see a job title and think, oh, yeah, I kind of get what that is. But then you dig a little deeper and you're like, oh, there's a whole lot more to this than meets the eye.
Yeah, like I was pictured print folding operators just, standing at a machine feeding paper all day.
Yeah.
Kind of monotonous.
Right, right. But this article, The Unfolding World of Print Folding, Skills and Expertise, totally flipped the script for me.
Really? What'd they say?
It's not just about feeding paper into a machine, it's about precision, problem solving. They're like the unsung heroes of the printing world.
Wow. Okay, so not just folding paper. Like what kind of problem solving are we talking about?
Think about it, even a tiny misalignment at the beginning of the process could throw off an entire batch of brochures or whatever they're making.
Oh, that's true. So they need to be on top of that kind of thing.
Exactly. They're responsible for making sure every fold, every crease is absolutely perfect.
Huh. The more you know. But I do wonder, with everything going digital these days, how much does that affect the printing industry and, print folding operators specifically?
That is a good question, and it's something a lot of people are curious about. And actually, one of the reports you sent, Prints Not Dead, Evolving in a Digital Age, dives right into that.
Okay, so what's the verdict? Are robots taking over the folding machines?
Well, not quite. While it's true that digital communication has changed things, it hasn't wiped out print entirely. In fact, the report highlighted that demand for certain types of high-quality printed materials, think like luxury packaging or those really nice marketing brochures, that's actually increased.
So it's kind of like how vinyl records are making a comeback. People still want something tangible, something they can hold.
Precisely. And that's where our print folding operators come in. They're the ones making sure those physical products look top-notch.
So it's not about fearing technology, it's about adapting to it.
Exactly. This report actually emphasized how the role of a print folding operator has evolved. They're not just operating machines, they're working with some seriously sophisticated automated equipment.
Okay, so we're not just talking about those little paper folding tools you find in an office supply closet.
Definitely not. In fact, one of the resources even mentioned something called a gatefold.
Oh, is that fancy fold where the sides fold inward? I've always wondered how they get those so perfect.
Me too.
Yeah.
Apparently, it involves multiple folds and really precise alignment to get that nice, symmetrical look.
Wow, more complicated than it looks.
Right. And get this, the article even talked about how different paper types can affect how a gatefold turns out, so operators need to adjust the machine settings accordingly.
Wow, see, I never would have even thought about that.
It's like they're almost like chefs, you know? They have to adjust their technique based on the materials they're working with.
That's a good analogy.
Yeah.
It seems like this job takes a deep understanding of both, like the art and the science of folding.
Totally. And according to these resources, that understanding just keeps growing as you move up in your career.
So how does someone actually get into this line of work? Is there like a print folding operator 101 course you can take or something?
Wouldn't that be nice? Actually, this career guide, Print Folding Operator we have here, does a great job of outlining a typical career path in the field.
Okay, so what does that path look like?
Well, it usually starts with an entry-level print folding operator position.
Makes sense. So like what are they doing at that level?
It's a lot of learning the ropes, mastering the basics of operating the machines, getting a feel for how things work in a print production environment.
So like print folding boot camp.
Exactly. You're basically becoming fluent in folding language. Then, as you gain experience, you'd likely move up to a junior print folding operator role.
And that's where the real problem solving comes in, right?
You got it. You're not just feeding paper at this point. You're troubleshooting minor machine issues, maybe training new hires. You're leveling up.
So you're like the cool older sibling showing the ropes.
Something like that.
Yeah.
And then, once you've really honed your skills, you can set your sights on that coveted senior print folding operator title.
Senior print folding operator that has a nice ring to it. But what does that actually entail? What does a senior folding operator do?
You're basically the maestro of the folding machines at that point. You're overseeing production, making sure things run smoothly, and you might even get involved with optimizing processes, collaborating with management.
So not just folding, but leading and managing as well.
Exactly. This career guide even mentioned that senior operators might be involved in things like quality control checks or even some minor machine maintenance.
Wow. So they really need to know their stuff inside and out.
Absolutely. It's a blend of leadership, technical expertise, and that dedication to quality. And speaking of dedication, these resources also had some great tips on how to actually advance your career in this field.
Oh, like what?
Networking, for one. They emphasized building relationships with other professionals in the industry. Also, creating a portfolio to showcase your work.
Like a highlight reel of your best folds.
Exactly. And of course, never stop learning. Staying up to date on the latest technologies and advancements is crucial.
Speaking of which, they did include those sample interview questions, right? To
Yeah,
help people prepare.
they did. I thought it was interesting how they focused on problem-solving skills. Like, one question was, can you describe a time when you had to troubleshoot a problem with the print folding equipment?
Yeah, it seems like being able to think on your feet is super important in this field.
Definitely. And then there was another one. How do you stay up to date with changes and advancements in print folding technology? Again, highlighting that need for continuous learning.
So you can't just rest on your laurels. You have to keep evolving with the technology.
Exactly. It's about embracing those advancements and using them to your advantage. But, we've talked a lot about the skills, the career path. What about the actual day-to-day work environment? What's it like to be on a print production floor?
Yeah, good point. Give us the inside scoop. What's it really like in there? Yeah, good point. Give us the inside scoop. What's it really like in there?
Well, let me tell you, it's definitely not your typical office cubicle setup.
No cubicles. Bummer.
Nope. Think more along the lines of a bustling factory floor.
Okay, I'm picturing it. Loud machinery. Probably smells like ink and paper.
You got it. One resource even described it as a well-choreographed dance between humans and machines.
A dance, huh? So it's fast-paced.
Oh yeah, definitely not a place to be daydreaming. It demands a lot of focus and attention to detail.
And probably a good pair of earplugs.
For sure, for sure. Safety is definitely a top priority, especially with those heavy-duty machines around.
Yeah, makes sense.
You know how you were joking about paper cuts earlier? Well, I wouldn't want to get on the wrong side of one of those industrial-sized folders.
Yeah, I'm thinking those are a whole different ball game. But all kidding aside, it does sound kind of cool in a way, you know?
Mhm.
Being surrounded by that kind of energy, seeing those perfectly folded products roll off the line, must be satisfying.
Absolutely. And don't forget the teamwork aspect. Even though operators spend a lot of time working with machines, they're also collaborating with each other, with supervisors, even sometimes with clients, to make sure everything gets done right and on time.
So it's not an isolated job.
Not at all. It takes a team effort to make it all happen.
Well, there you have it, folks. We started out thinking about print folding operators as, just folding paper, but we've learned it's so much more than that.
Right. It's a skilled trade that requires precision, problem-solving skills, a deep understanding of the machinery, and a willingness to adapt to new technologies.
And for anyone listening who might be considering a career in this field, these resources you sent over are a fantastic place to start.
Absolutely. They really go in depth, covering everything from the different folding techniques to how to maintain those complex machines. It's really impressive.
It really is, and I think it highlights something really important. Even in our digital world, there's still a need for skilled trades,
Yeah.
for people who can work with their hands and create something tangible. And those skills, they're valuable.
Couldn't agree more. It's about finding those hidden gems in the job market, those careers that might not get as much attention, but are just as vital to how our world functions.
Beautifully said. And on that note, I think it's time for us to wrap up this deep dive. But before we go, I want to leave you with a little something to think about. What does the future hold for the printing industry, and specifically for print folding operators? How will technology continue to shape this field in the years to come? It's a fascinating question, and who knows, maybe some of you listening will be the ones who end up answering it. That's all the time we have for today's deep dive. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time for another fascinating exploration of a unique career path.